Okay, here's what we know. Won't start. Auto choke system, pull, 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 not getting fuel. Pulled the air filter off, shot a little bit of carb spray in there, gave her a pull, she fired up and stalled. It's not getting fuel. Let's pull the fuel ball off and see what's going on in there. Okay, start with the hose pincher offers. Let's get them in there. Fuel tank is full, so we know it's got fuel. It's just not getting to the engine. Hose pincher offers engaged. Let's pull these 9/32 out. Let's pull these 8mm out. We're just taking this air cleaner off so we can see, just to give us room. Okay, breather hose in the back. Yoink, that's out of the way. These sit on an O-ring in there, they got a clip in. You know what, I could probably sneak that out of there. Sneak, sneak. I think it's 8mm. I think. This is one of those all plastic Briggs carbs, not 8mm. 7 it is. Deal. 7 it is. Could also be water in there. We could pull the cap, the little plug out of the bottom in the middle. It's just a hex. I think it's a 3/8 hex. Not sure. I don't know. One's out. There's only a couple, one in each corner. These bowls are on there pretty good too. You usually got to get a screwdriver in there and give them a little tweak and a twist to get them to come out. Screwdriver. Let's get a rag underneath there to catch anything that's going to come flying out. We don't need it all over the place. Okay. Clickety click. The bowl is full, so it is getting fuel. I'm gonna dump that into a receptacle. Oh, she's pretty old. Pretty yellow. It's got some white floaties in it. It's not cloudy, and I'm not seeing water in it. That doesn't necessarily mean much. Bowl is full, it's just not making it up into the carb. And I can't get to the jet and everything from under here. There's a little one on the side that lets the fuel in. Well, let's pull the carb off of there. Pliers for the fuel hose. Clamp on here, a little spring clamp. Let's get that out of there. Get off. Come on. Just popped out of its spot here. Come on. Oh, you want to wrestle, do you? There we go. Moving. That's off. This just slides out. Up. Like so. Let's unhook our choke rod. Let's unhook our governor rod. There it is. And we got this carburetor. I do not like these. I don't like them. But we got to get into here. because that's where all this magic happens, is up inside here. Pop this out very carefully. You gotta get a screwdriver wedged in between the black and the white plastic parts here and get that out. Let me clear the bench here. Let's get a paper towel down. Get you spun around. Whoa, easy, hang on. See if I can get an angle on it, ish. There. Is that enough? Yeah, that's good enough. Let's pop this out of here. Need a screwdriver, nice fine one, because we got to get into that plastic. Let's pop our float out. Boink! The needle popped out while I was messing with it. Rubber tip needle, looks in good shape. No fuel in the float. So that's a feed line, and it's clear. We knew that it was getting fuel to the bowl anyways, so let us gently get in there. I'm not a fan of these. I'll see these things in 10 years when they're all brittle. Okay, that is that. There's our jet. Let's get this popped out. It just kind of slides out. Sometimes it's very tight though. Just gotta work it a little carefully. Just turn it some. That's your emulsion tube if it was a standard carburetor. It's got this white goop on it. Can you say ethanol fuel? So there's our jet there anyways. Grab a wire and push through it. Appears to be fine. Very strange. Didn't really see anything major wrong in there. Nothing that's completely plugged up anyway. But it was not getting fuel, that's for sure. A little bit of carb spray, a little bit of blowgun. I don't like using the carb spray too much on these. If you do use it, don't let it soak on there, because sometimes some chemicals can attack plastic. So just give her a nice little spray and a blowgun. That got very loud. Blow some of the junk off the outside of it. Just kind of throwing air through any of the spots, any of the orifices that I can find. Again, I didn't see anything major in there. Let's blow this out. Pull this out. I don't think it was plugged. Well, could have been. I blew air in this little jet here, and some poo came shooting out the top, so it might have been it. Might have been plugged up in that orifice tube. But being white debris, I didn't see it, so. Well, she's pretty clean. What the hell? Throw it together. Throw her back together. Creaky, eh? Okay, that's together. They do only go in one way, and it happens to be this way. Make sure the seat's in there. It's nice and tight. We'll get our needle and pin back in there. Whoa. This is probably the cleanest carb I've seen that doesn't run. We're a little push, gently. Nice and gentle like. Don't want to break any plastic parts. There we go, that's in. Do a flow test. Okay, well, that's working. I don't know what else to tell you. We'll spray this bowl out and give her a blast with the air too. Okay. That's the brain. That's the drain plug I was telling you about. The hex in there. You can crack this loose from underneath the bowl and drain her out. But it's not going to do us any favors. And you can see there's an indentation on the bottom. It's got to go this way in relation to the float. This part has to sink into there, and then the fuel gets picked up from the side here. We could have had a small little piece of debris in that jet right there, that orifice that picks up fuel. Let's get that shoved back together. Yup. Okay. These back in. This carb weighs like nothing. It's like a feather. Yep. It's the season. I got a couple of push mowers. Well, I'll just throw that on the floor. Got a couple of push mowers out there right now. Actually, I think they both have the same carburetor on them. Same issue, both of them. They don't run off a full tank of fuel, but they'll run off a squirt of carb cleaner. All right. Look up here. Look over there. Okay, get you zoomed in a little. Get a better eyeball on the linkage. Okay. How'd that go again? Do you guys remember? Let's get our governor arm on there. Get our choke thermostat, choke release, choke, whatever that is, thing off of there. Get our stuff lined up here. Push it on. There, that's on. Once you guys are, if you're in here, check the bracket, move your choke butterfly, and make sure that the choke butterfly lever does not get stuck on this metal bracket. It's a very common thing on these Briggs. What happens is, as the engine choke's on right now because it's not running and it's cold. So as it warms up, this stat above the muffler warms up and pushes this rod over. You watch here, the rod pushes the choke open. But what happens is if this butterfly lever sticks on the metal part, let's hold that, just pretend it's stuck. When the choke stat releases, the choke stays open. It doesn't close by itself. So the next time you go to start it, it'll start fine the first time because the choke is shut. The next time you go to start it, the choke is open. It's not choking it, so it won't start. That's the first thing I checked with this machine, is that the choke was working. And the choke was working before I did anything to it, because that's, like I said, super common. The fix for that is literally a pair of pliers right here, and you give it a tweak, just bend the bracket away from that lever. If it's severe enough, or if the machine's been run into, it'll bend this stuff, and you have to relieve the lever. Just take a little file and relieve the edge of the lever so it can't get stuck. But that's not our problem here. Let's get her on. We'll get that put back where it belongs. A few little plastic dowels in the back to line up. That's good. Let's get our breather hose on there. That's good. Now, because everything is plastic and I don't want to use an impact on anything in here now to put it together, I'm just going to use this hand driver. So 8mm or 5/16 for the air filter housing to the bracket bolts, and those are the black ones. And 9/32 or 7mm for the two shiny ones that hold the air filter housing to the carburetor. I get everything in there loose. Everything started first before I tighten anything up, and then I tighten the carb ones to the carburetor first, make sure there's a good vacuum or good seal there, and then I go back to the 5/16 and tighten up the housing to bracket mounts. Check your choke operations, make sure it still comes on and off. Yep, that's good. Air filter's clean. Well, let's get a little bit of a blowgun going on that. Not crazy bad, but got the blowgun in my hand. Perfect, that'll do. Okay, air filtre. And the housing, let's pop the hose pincher offers off of there. Well, dummy, you should have hooked that hose up to the carburetor first. Oh well. Blooper reel. I can still reach in there and get the clamp on, so that's okay. Clamps on. Well, what I was doing there is I was just draining off the bottom of the gas tank to make sure that if there was any water in there that it would have come out first. That's what we're going with. There's gas everywhere. All right, well, what do you think? Will she run? I think it might. Let's get the tools off the bench. Get you zoomed out. Zoom out. Let's clear the bench of tools. because usually when you fire stuff up on the bench, it just rattles everything off onto the floor anyways. Spin her around. So the choke should be working. Now, I'm gonna check the oil before we fire it up. She's got oil in it. Okay, so I got a clamp holding the brake down. Let's see what happens. That is good enough for me. Quick video, guys. That's all it was. A little bit of junk in the bottom of the carburetor, and I'm sure it was where the fuel gets picked up on the side of that white tube. Just a little brass jet there. I'm sure that was plugged up. Because when I sprayed in there, that's when all that white stuff came flying out. And you couldn't see it. It was white debris inside of a white plastic piece, so I couldn't see it. But the air got rid of it anyways. So, next. Thanks for joining me in this quick video, guys. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Number 2. Same engine, same carb, same problem. Won't start even with a primer. This one does not have an auto choke. Same carburetor. This one has a primer bulb, but it ain't getting fuel. If I take this out, throw it on the garbage, take the filter out, spray carb cleaner in there, it'll fire and die. Full tank of fuel. Let's get in there. Fuel pincher offers. Let's see if I can remember to put the fuel line back on the carburetor before I take the pincher offers off this time. Figured the first one was a short video, quick enough that I could probably get 2 done right now. Get that hose off of there. Come on now. Another one that wants to wrestle. Oh, there we go. It's off. It's a little dribbly. That's okay. Not seeing any water coming out of the bottom, so that's okay. I think my hose pincher offers are not pinching off enough. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's get the 7mm and the 8mm out. We'll take the 8s off first. Should be an 8 here. Yep, 8 here. That bolts the housing from the bracket. Now let's unbolt the housing from the carburetor. One here. One here. This should wiggle out. Got a little vent tube in the back, take that off. Because there's no auto choke, it's only got one rod on it. Oh, a little breather tube. Let's get this unhooked. It's got fuel in it. Just can't get it to the engine. Almost identical carburetor. This one just doesn't have a choke butterfly. It's got a plug here instead. Other than that, they're essentially the same. Let's get you spun around here again. Over and down. Yup. There we go. Maybe zoom in. Note to self, don't press the stop start button when you zoom in. It makes for bad video. So let's get that 2 bolts off the bottom of here. They should be 7s. Uno. Dos. Screwdriver. We're going to open that up over the cup because I know it's full. So this is the second carburetor that's getting fuel but not getting up into the engine. And there's some goopies in the bottom of this. Yeah, Got some slimy sludge in the bottom. All right. I'm not going to bother with the float. Okay, flow test is good. Let's get this center section out. Carefully. Carefully. Here we go. Gas burns on your lips. Don't like it. Okay, the little tubes are clear here in the orifice, or the what is it? Emulsion tube. I'm trying to blow air through this jet. It should come right up, but it's not. It tanked. Back to the trusty guitar string. There we go. That was the problem. It was plugged just like the last one. Exactly the same as the last one. Little carb spray in there. Oh, easy now. Go in your spot. Don't come out. Go in. Spray the whole mess down. That's good. Let's get that jet cleared out too. Gotta watch the stuff falls apart. Those jets fall right out of there. The bowl. Get the slimy stuff out of there. It's just literally like kind of clear slime. Back to the airline, back to the blowgun, wherever that ended up. There it is, found it. Let's blow that stuff out of there. That's good. Let's get this blown out. Carefully, you don't want to shoot the jets across the room. Let's get this blown out. Yep, but that was the problem right there. That jet was plugged. I'm gonna run the wire. I'm gonna run the wire. And just kind of get in there, give her a poke and a wiggle. Make sure it's flowing enough. There's no debris that's gonna plug that right back up again. Another little shot with a blowgun. Yep, she's flowing good now. All right. Get her back together. Get her back on the mower. Check the flow here. We're good. I'm going to blow this out. Just blow this mess out here with a blowgun. Make sure there's no white slimy stuff in there, or clear, or whatever. Okay, that's where it needs to be. That's where it needs to be. That is not where it needs to be. This little white ring has moved. It slid out on me. There we go. That has to line up. This white ring, that white ring in there has to line up because this part of the emulsion tube, where are you looking? That part right there goes right in that hole. So that's the orientation that they go in. They do only fit one way. There we go. In. That's the orientation this goes in. You see the cutouts in the bottom of the bowl. See the pickup there? It flips over and goes on that way. Like so. Oh, get in there. Okay, that's in. Let's get our hardware started. Again, I'm going to use wrist power to drive these home because everything's plastic and I don't want to break it because I don't want to buy one. Snug. Snug. Turn back. Again, you're looking in the wrong spot. Look over here. Zoom in. Okay. Let's get our governor linkage hooked up. As much as I say I don't like these things, which I don't, but they are easy to work on, I'll give them that. Let's get our little vent back in there. Get, pop on there. Just gotta make sure it's seated against the head there, which I don't think it is. It's hard to tell. Nope, it's not. Sometimes it's easier to have the O-rings. There's an O-ring and a spacer. Let's get the O-ring in the carburetor first. O-ring. Plastic spacer. Get that in there. Now it should be easier to pop on. We'll get it where it needs to go. A little vent back in there. Get in your home. Governor linkage. There we go. Now she's home. You could tell because the carburetor was actually out from the bracket. That's that. Let's get our little screwdriver. Nut driver. Governor linkage moves freely. Let's get our little breather hose attached. Yep. That lined up. 7 mil. Yeah. 7 mil there. Yeah, one there. One there. Get them started. Get the other 2 bracket bolts started. And then we can go back to the carburetor and get those tight. That one, that one. Back to the carburetor one first to make sure the carburetor is nice and evenly secured to the air filter housing. And then back to the ones that hold the air filter housing to the bracket on the engine. Okay, ready? Oh, wait, you got me last time. You're not going to get me again. Let's get that fuel line on there before we take the clamp off. Clamp off. Let's get our pliers in there. The little spring clamp back on the fuel line. Look at that, no fuel come out this time. Okay, that's good. Air filter, that way. outside housing. Nothing's pouring out of the carburetor, so it's not overflowing. Clear the rubble off the bench. Let's get my little clamp here, clamp the bar down. Let's see, I don't know, we'll try it. Call that one a success. There you go. 2 videos for the price of 1. 2 machines, exact same problem, same carburetor, same repair. I like those ones. Thanks for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I already said that once in this video. Anyways, you know the drill. Dingle the bell. It'll tell you when I upload new stuff. Thanks for joining me. Take care.